Right, hello, welcome to Operation Crypto, second live stream of today. Had a few hours spare to burn, so I thought I'd jump into some altcoin price analysis. We'll have a look at Bitcoin price obviously first, have a look at this setup that I've got that I'm potentially looking to fill along, and then we'll go into some of the top altcoins which I think are at decent levels now, or going to be at decent levels over the next few days to invest before we do start to push on, because the market is still on a bit of what you would say tenterhooks. We're still range bound within this area, so I think it's going to take a while for us to break out, but I think once we do break out we are going to see some growth. But yeah, currently not much to see, but I'll have a talk through this setup in a minute. Just wait for a few people to jump on the stream. Let me know where you're from in chat, how you're doing this evening. 5 minutes and we'll crack on straight into it and see what's going on in terms of Bitcoin and altcoin price analysis. Right, so Bitcoin, I've got a few people on now. As you can see, we have been range bound for a while. If you watch my live streams quite often, you will see that we have been pretty much talking about this range bound area. We hung on to that middle line for quite a while, and then we've flipped that to support now and bounced back up. So looking at this current move here, we have pretty much bounced off this region here, popped back up, and we rejected off this higher level here. The higher level is 40,800. And we've rejected off that. We do know that it's a little bit uncertain times, and we've got FOMC about to begin this afternoon. I'm not sure what time it's on in UK time, but it's around 2:30 Central European time, so not Central European, US time. So at some stage Powell will be speaking, and you know when Powell speaks he can talk some absolute bollocks. So yeah, so far all's going so well. I'm looking for a potential trade setup down here, so I'm looking for 61% retracement. Currently, we are hanging around that 382 level at 38764. Hopefully we can flip that to support soon and start to push up, but this is a key area down here for me. If you ever watch my videos, I always look at that golden ratio, that 618 level. So that's the area I'm going to look to target today. So hopefully we can get a breakdown to that region, and then I'll look at opening along and try and ride that back up to around 43 to 45k. That'll be the first take profit region, and the second take profit will be up at that region there, about 4,500. So that's two potential scenarios. Alright, Cora, how are you doing, buddy? How was life, man? Yeah, so that's a potential setup about there. As you can see, the MACD is still slightly bearish. But to be honest, sesh, no mate, no sesh today, not during midweek. I am off work, but we're gonna stick to no sessions. I'm looking to try and open along on Bitcoin here at 37169. Well, if I'm open, I'll be using the perp on Binance. I'm looking at this region here, about 37200. I've got a long order placed. Let's see if it managed to pop down, maybe spark that region and then push back up and target some of them regions up there. But on the standard chart, that's a setup I've got. So let's monitor it. I think we are going to come down. I think sometimes you can do about 38% retracement and push on, but I think it's just a little bit uncertain times today. So I think that is the first area we should look at targeting. MACD is bearish. Other sides are around mid-ground. So yeah, that's pretty much Bitcoin covered. Not much been going on in terms of price action. Pretty much since we had that major drop, we've come back up and we've just consolidated for about 3 weeks now. So yeah, not much going on at all. Throughout this video, if you've got any requests you want me to have a look at any coins, just fire them in the chat and I'll have a butcher through them and see what's going on. But that's BTC covered to set up there. With regards to Ethereum, not much going on here either. If you're just looking at this entire move here, I mentioned about getting some buy zones on this morning's stream at this region. We've come down and pretty much double tapped it. If you look at that, bring that right on. It's around that area, so 2,400 is probably a decent area to buy. Currently bounced off that. I think it's acting as some nice psychological support. But if the market does drop, I think there's a possibility to fill some orders at 2289. So just monitor that price. Yeah, I'll have a look at VRA, mate. But in terms of what's going on here, not much is same. We've not even been down to that lower range. The mid-range on Ethereum is holding up very well. We had a few closures on 4 hours below it, but it bounced straight back up. Did we get any closure on the daily? Yeah, no closures below that region. So to me, that's looking fine and dandy. I think that's a decent support level. I think if we did lose that level, I think we'd end up inevitably going back down to test this region. But all's looking okay at the minute for me there. Right, so VRA. I think I've got it on here somewhere. In fact, we'll use different chart setup. Can't spell. Use that chart there. So, veracity. Have a look on the 4 hour. Yeah, well, I mentioned earlier on there were a couple of buy zones I would have targeted if you were looking to get in VRA. 2 buy zones within that region there, so it's come down and hit that pretty much that candle there at 0.0145. So I think now it's done that 78% retracement. It's definitely going to start pushing on now, unless the market does take a turn for worse. But obviously, the first area we need to get through is there. If you just bring that red line down, we need to really start closing above 16.9 cents to then go up and target double tweezers tops for a bit of a push on. Traded 1 for a while. Can you have a look it up? Shall we have a look at 1? There's 1. What are you trading in, USDT or BTC? Looks like we're just starting to come into a little bit of a bearish phase on a MACD there, so a little bit of a bearish cross there. It doesn't mean a massive amount. I mean, last time we had a bearish cross was here and there, to be honest. So I mean, we could have a little bit of a period of selling pressure now. If you're looking at this entire move and seeing how far we can come down. Coming down to this region, I think it's bounced within that range, so it could say, I mean, if you put that fib on me, that would create right at the top it needs to be. There's a good potential if you're looking for some buys, I think, within this region here, 0.078, all the way down to 0.075. I think they could be good areas for you to buy, because we've only just started that bearish phase, so there's a good chance that it could tick in something like that, and then before we get a good rise. But remember, if it's sideways too, that could have that effect on the histogram. Welcome everybody in chat, starting to fill up a little bit now. Smash that like button if you've not already. Gonna check out LTC USDT. Actually, let me just finish this first. So, buy zones within that range, and then if we do get a breakdown to that region, maybe if you look at that move up, impulse move down, maybe to that region or that region, and then we're really looking to target that first region. If you look at all them wicks around there, I think 0.091, so 9 cent, is a major area to break through. Definitely not drinking rosé wine. I'm having a day off beer, to be honest, mate. Sucked too much on my kidneys to handle for the last few weeks, so no beer, strictly pop. So that's a bit of a setup there on Harmony 1 if it does come back down to those regions. Litecoin, I'm not doing price analysis on Litecoin for a minute, so let's just zoom out onto a weekly, see what we've got going on. I'm presuming it's pretty much similar to all of the charts in consolidation. Weekly chart looking quite bearish. We had that crossover on the moving averages, and the histogram is bearish. I presume that's the all-time highs up there. We've been up to 414, 412. So that's the all-time highs. We've got some levels of weekly resistance plotted here, and then we've got some monthly support down here, $108. Can't see us getting down there, to be honest. So on the weekly, it's looking bearish. Daily time frame, fairly bullish, but sideways chop now. So we're going into 4 hour. Not much going on here, is there? We're pretty much consolidating, would you say, or accumulation period. If we just have a look back, we had a lot of trading within this area around here, this peak, this bottom of a peak and the bottom of that peak. It just shows that is a big area of liquidity. So that to me is probably the accumulation zone before the next leg up. If you look at this, you could pretty much catch it all within one square box there. I mean, if you're looking for buys, coming down to that golden ratio. So if you're looking for buys, I'd potentially look at buying in this region. 164, maybe ladder some orders down to 160. I think that's going to be some decent levels for you to target. Impulse move up from the bottom there. Tops 618, and then it should push on after that. But that's a potential setup there with some buys, and then some take profits. Take profits, really. I won't be taking any profit below 180 if you get any of those regions, so that could be a decent area for you to target. Welcome Joseph, how's it going, mate? So that's LTC pretty much covered. Looking a little bit bearish on the 4 hour time frame there, so we would expect us to come down within this range and pick up some orders before it does start to push on. Thanks out, Felix, mate. Can I have a look at RSR? Can. I think RSR's been down in pretty much dumps. It's took a big old whacking, hasn't it? If you look at a lot of my charts, I've already pre-marked them up with so you would call this a top of range, this a middle range, and this a lower range. We've used this lower range several times, not closed any candles below it, so it's looking okay. We've only had wicks to the downside. Very nice push up. We really need to reclaim this mid ground. As you can see, we've used it as support there all the way through, and resistances, so it's the neck and resistance there, so it is a key level of that, and we really need to break through that before we do start looking at any higher levels. But if you're just looking for some buys on this time frame, and when we've had a double top there, and pretty much two double tops, it had a nice recovery off that 382, pop back up, and it's retracing again now. So I'd probably ladder some orders all the way down from pretty much 3 cent all the way down to 2.7 cent. I think within that range could be a decent area, and then hopefully once we've picked up like that liquidity, we can really start to push on and target that 3.4 cent. I think that's a massive area. I think if we do flip that to support, we then can look at these extension ones, fib, and then start looking at this high range at 4.3 cent. But it's not looking too good, to be honest, in terms of the 4 hour time frame. It's been quite bearish since we had that rejection on 3rd of June, so pretty much 2 weeks of a downtrend. We're creating lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, so we need a break pretty much above this region to knock us out of that bearish structure and start pushing on. So that's that pretty much covered. Coin is approved listing on a New York approved exchange, likely Coinbase or Gemini. Always possible. Any idea when the ZIL ETH bridge will be? I'm not too sure, mate, but it's I don't think it's a million miles away. We've had a few tweets off the off Colin Miles, and is it Amrit Kumar or something like that, his last name? So yeah, I think it's coming, but I'm just not too sure. Tom, so pretty much any cryptocurrency that you have, that you make profit from in the UK, is taxable under capital gains, whether that be a stable asset. A stable asset is still a crypto. It's a crypto pegged to a stable currency. So yes, it would, but that's life, innit? At least it's at least the UK have accepted that people are making money from crypto and not blocking it from more banks. So in terms of like savings, I think it's the best thing to do. Turn your savings that you're in ISA at 0.1%, bang it into Swiss Borgs, for example. I've got a lot of USDC coin. I say a lot, I've got a fair old chunk. I'm holding that on Swissborg and earning 12% per day, and then that gets paid out daily. So at the end of the year, I'll probably add that whatever I've made from that amount onto my tax return or into my company, and just pay tax on it. At the end of the day, it's money. It's free money if you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, with ISAs, you can get the fact that you're tax free, but in crypto, everything's taxable. So yeah, that's up to you what you do that, mate. Please share your thoughts on the graph GRT. I sold mine. I bought it, I don't know, when everyone were talking about it. I bought it and then I waited about 3 or 4 months. I think I sold it at about 30% up, nothing major, but I made a bit of money and I was getting quite bored of it, to be honest. So in terms of GRT, let's just have a look at a bit of price analysis for you. God knows what's going on here. Let's delete all that. Again, it's pretty much range bound. Let's put some high ranges and low ranges on. So you would say that's a high range. Say that's a lower range around there. We've used it support there, support there. Let's show a mid range in there somewhere too. So currently sat under mid range. If you're looking at this move here, we've rejected off it twice. Use that area support a lot. Maybe if you're looking for some buys, it is looking like it's going to roll over now, because if you're looking at MACD, just about to get a bearish cross and a tick to the downside. Our sides are on mid ground, so it's showing that we've got room to be coming into the oversold territory. So if you're looking for some buys on the graph, target some buys within this range, even all the way down to that lower support line there. So anywhere from 58 cent up to 65 cent could be a decent buy on that. KSM 360. Let's have a look at over the entire move. If you look at it over the entire move, I mean, we'll go from that wick there. So if you're looking at this, mate, if you're looking at that entire move, there's a possibility it could come down to this region, at 329 maybe. It used that 50% fib as quite a decent level of support, but it's lost that a minute. Depends if it reclaims 369 and pushes above that. But yeah, it could come down to 329, mate. But once it's done its major retracement, possibly it could also go back up. It's a solid asset. We've got power chains coming up soon, haven't we? So that's a potential move. If you're worried about losing money, mate, I won't even worry about it. Just hold on. We're going to go up eventually, aren't we? Can have a look at TRY. TRY, is that true? What is it? Let me know which one it is, mate, and I'll look at it. Is it Trias? Crypto 7, how you doing, mate? Any thoughts on a Keep network? No, I've not looked at it. What do you think about Kusama? Is that same as Kusama? I like it. We've just been talking about it then. Decent project. Parachain's coming up, so yeah. Buy and hodl. I think anything to do with Polkadot is going to be massive this year, going into probably next few. It's pretty much the beginning of Polkadot, ain't it, with the parachain auctions and Kusama. So I think now is going to be a solid time to invest before ultimate moonage. What about going into some NFT coins? So I don't hold any. I know I'm a massive fan of any of these meme coins, but I'm invested in Turnoa, which is this one, which is NFT based. I think if you're looking, this is going to be built on Polkadot as well. It is on the what's going on there? It is on the Polkadot Parachain testnet website on Chaos. So I think you should go and check it out. I've got massive ties with Binance now. They are launching an NFT on Binance NFT Marketplace, which is getting released on 24th of June, I think. It is a Polkadot Parachain. Hopefully we should secure that. It's class because it pretty much has these time capsules that you can store on a blockchain, and you can release them at different points. So protocol is designed for data transmission. I like this one here, DEF protocol. It's a little bit like having a will, and it says here the time capsule is delivered to beneficiaries once the creator dies. This protocol is based on local DEF registrar APIs and will only be available in some eligible countries first, but it's quite a cool concept, having a will stored on blockchain. Many have all these different types of protocols, and I think it's solid. It's one of my favourite new assets to come out this year. Heavily invested in this now, and you see there, Polkadot Parachain. If you've not checked it out already, I think you should go ahead and check it out because it's solid and the designer is class. It's a standard NFT based decentralized data transmission website. It is class, powered by Polkadot. Go and check it out. It's one of my favourite assets for that. Currently, if we just look at price on it, currently using this region here is support around 15 cents. So if you're looking to buy, I think now is a decent area to buy before that next leg up. Let me just catch up in chat. Turkish lira with USD. I can't really give price analysis on that, mate. It's like Forex, isn't it? Crypto patch, yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, I think a lot of alts, especially if BTC, is going to start losing dominance because Bitcoin is, well, I'll tell you what we'll look at first here. Bitcoin is trying to regain some market dominance. If we just look at this on weekly time frame, I mentioned this in quite a lot of my videos recently, that Bitcoin pretty much, Bitcoin dominance pretty much dropped like a lead balloon, and we only found support once we did eventually hit 40%. I think it's now trying to regain some market dominance, and that's shown by this push up here. We're struggling to get through this region at 46%, but I think we are going to break through. I think that will lead to a bit of a Bitcoin rally. Maybe we get that rejection up here at about 52 before ultimate death going towards the end of Q3, Q4. That's when crypto and alt should be flying, to be honest. But in terms of ETH BTC, yeah, it is losing ground on Bitcoin, but it's nothing to worry about. Long term, we'll be laughing. Yeah, market is nervous about. I think market always gets a bit twitchy when Powell starts to come and talk, don't they? If you've just joined my stream a little bit later on, this is a setup I'm looking at for BTC. I noticed when I do that rollover, it struggled to penetrate through that higher range for a while. But yeah, I think it's going to come down to test this region around 37k. I've got a long order in with a tight stop loss on this region down here, about 5% stop loss. So if it drops down and falls through, then I am protected. I'll only lose a bit, but this is long. I've got up 5 times leverage. Let's see if it can reject from this region, hit that 618 and then push on. Do I trade in pairs or USD? I don't necessarily trade, but I really invest either in USDT or BTC. What I will be doing when the time comes, I'll be selling a good portion of my altcoins into Bitcoin, and I'll be selling a good portion of them into stables as well. Before the dreaded bear market comes, which I don't think is here for a while yet. I reckon towards the end of this year, beginning of 2022, I think we will start to see a bit of a bearish structure forming at some stage. Yeah, possible with Kusama, mate. I mean, it is pretty much for testnet for Polkadot, isn't it? So yeah. Caps could be massive this run. I mean, like I say, it's only new. It's only valued at $17 million, which is nothing really. So it is a low cap. I think it's something that people should be paying attention to, because if you get into these low caps early, there's always we've had quite a few ties with Binance already. So I mean, I'm not saying we're going to get listed there, but it's definitely a foot in door, isn't it? Yes, you can either do that, bank it in BlockFi, or I personally use Swissborg. I'm getting like 12% there. I managed to get 2,000 CHSB, lock them up for a year, and I'm getting 12% on my USDC over there, so it's decent. Chris, I've literally just covered caps here in terms. I mean, I've just had to talk through a project, but I just had a quick look at some price analysis. I was just saying that if you look at this wick here, that wick there, acted as some solid support. Let's make it a bit bigger. Acted as support there, and then rejected off it too, and then acted as support a few times. So I think it's a decent level that. We got close to it at about 15.2 cents. I think that's a decent buy zone. Remember, it's only valued at $17 million this, and it is new, and what we're doing is creating higher lows on the way up. We had a massive pump up to 23 cents. It's only got a 2.5 billion supply, so I think I don't think it's a major amount of supply. So it's got good tokenomics. If we just go back to this, where's the circulating supply? Currently only got 114 million in supply, so that's 4.5 million, 4.5%. And we do know a lot of people have vested in this for up to 12 months, so yeah, solid tokenomics, solid projects. I think should be good. Yeah, it's decent. If you do have that premium, then it's decent, mate. UTK, shall we look at that? I've not looked at it for a while. Let's open this door, it's like a sauna in here. UTK, where is it? Absolutely no idea what's going on with them squiggles. Let's have a look at this on my weekly first. So this is Binance chat. We've only been trading on here since September last year, so we haven't got a ton of data, so that's why the MACD still looks permanently bearish. But yeah, we've had a major drop from the highs, dropping into the daily. How much did we drop? I know a lot of alts did some massive corrections. 83% drop, absolutely savage, but nothing to worry about that. Currently, again, like most of alts, pretty much sideways action, not much going on here. Let's just level this one up. So we've got the lower range here, the high range, and then this mid range here. Seems like we glued to that mid range. We've quite lost it a little bit here, but let's just have a look at this entire move. You can't really analyse that, to be honest. I mean, you'd have to drop down to the hourly, and it probably looks even worse. Yeah, we've lost that 786% level, to be honest. Looking quite bearish for that. I think it's going to potentially drop down to these wicks around here. We've had quite a bit of trade. If you look at this area around here, that's support, so it's potentially going to come down to that region. Just move that up to there. So it shows a lot of area support there, so you potentially might get some orders filled at 26 cents, currently 29. The MACD is looking bearish. RSI is around mid-ground, so not much going on there, so the potential to still be oversold and come back down to this range. So yeah, I think if you're looking for some buys, I think 26 cents would probably be a decent range for you to look at. Snoozing 99. I've not actually ever looked into CR coin, mate, so I can't really say. $38.5k support. Depends which time frame you're looking on, really. So look at a daily. Not really on my daily now. You'd say that's support there potentially, if you look at that region. That was the last week where we rejected, so you would say there's some support there at this level where we're currently sat on. But if it drops to, I can see it potentially coming down to 37160 around that region. That's where I've got a long in position. I'm just going to open a long down there and see if I can ride it back up to these regions up here. But yeah, you could say that is the last bit of support before we do drop down to these regions here. What's your thoughts on Luna? I've not looked into it, mate. Tree DeFi. Don't want to look at that. Don't want to look at that. What is a better altcoins to invest now for long term, 6 months or more? These ones at the top right are my favourite long term projects. So we've got Zilliqa, VeChain, Polkadot, RSR potentially. I think Zilliqa, VeChain and Polkadot. 3 of my biggest holds, and I think 3 of the best assets out there. I think fundamentally they're absolutely solid, and they're just at great investment levels now, which I think if you've not researched them, go and check them out, because for, like I say, they're solid assets. And I like to invest in crypto assets that have solid blockchains, and they have all built their own blockchain. And that's what you want. You don't want just a random fucking dog coin that's jumped on the back of a BSC or an ETH chain when it's just shite in it. You need projects which are proper. Any pins on a wick-off pattern? Is it possible for one more substantial drop before we recover and resume? Oh, it's a potential, mate. Yeah, I mean, just to zoom out, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of patterns, but the Wyckoff does look very similar to what's going on here, but the upside down version. So I think there's a potential that we could come down, test this region here, and then pop back up, and that will pretty much complete that Wyckoff from around there, wouldn't you would say? Let's just find a picture of it actually. If I can spell it right. There we go. So if you're looking at that there, we have highs here, come back down, bouncing around a bit, and then test it back up to that region. If you're looking at the so we'll bring that up. Where have it gone? I've lost it. There it is. If you're looking at that there, this region around here, we have that there, down, up, down, within that same range, and there's a good potential here. If you're looking at this pattern now, it's pretty much here, so we could get this test here and then pop back up, and that up there to around 45k, which is the top of that move, would pretty much complete that Wyckoff pattern. So that to me could be a bullish sign if you are into patterns. So just maybe just monitor it and see what goes on there. But yeah, it is a potential. Would I be holding vet.zil all the way through the bear market rather than trade to grow sats? No, I wouldn't be holding through a bear market. I would only be holding low caps really, because I mean low caps are low caps, aren't you? You're not going to see parabolic growth through a bear market, so I'm just going to hold on to them. But in terms of Polkadot, Vet and all my biggest holds, I will be selling them in probably equal portions of BTC and stable coins, probably maybe a 60-40 split. Try and be top heavy on stable coins and bang them into some yield platforms like Swissborg or BlockFi and earn that passive income, waiting for the lows to eventually pop in and then redistribute my supply back into them assets. But maybe it depends. Like Polkadot, I'm staking Polkadot. I don't know. I mean, it just depends. We need to have a look what goes on towards the end of this year. If we do get major parabolic growth, and the decision might be made for you. I mean, you want, for example, you buy 1,000 DOT and it goes up to 500 DOT each. You're going to be thinking, right, fucking hell, there's a lot of money here. What do I do? Do I sell it, or do I hold on to it? But I think that decision, when you see that amount of money, will be made for you, to be honest. Is there a minimum limit on staking? Don't know. I don't know, mate. I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure. It's on TBT. Let's have a look anyway. Have a look at the USDT pair. I'm not sure when SNTVT will be swapping. I thought it was going to be soon, but I'm not really caught up on it too much. I highlighted this zone last time I did some price analysis, which was the lows of that move. And it's pretty much that similar area now. I think it's pretty much in that accumulation phase before the next leg up. I mean, if you have a zoom right in and wanting to potentially look at buying some, we've already done that 68% retracement, so I think that's a decent level to buy. Anywhere within this range is a solid buy, all the way up to pretty much, what's that, 1.1 cent, all the way down to this region. Pretty much 1 cent is a decent amount to buy, to be honest. A decent amount to buy at, should I say. What do I expect BTC to do through a bear market? Well, let's have a look what happened in the last bear market, shall we? So this was the rise of Bitcoin. We hit 19.9999, whatever it hit, and then over a course since, let's have a look at this in date range. So we hit those highs in December, and then the lows all the way pretty much down to April 19. So that's 476 days to the lows around. Well, I mean, the lows was around there. If we look at that in terms of what did we drop, we dropped 84% there. So it took 420 days, so you're talking a year and a quarter maybe to drop down to that region. We then had a spike up to back in June, because remember, in a bear market things just don't constantly go down. We have prolonged periods of death followed by a pump and then a bit more death. So we then had a nice rise from this region here all the way up to tops of 140 days, and then again we had another drop. If you look at this region, all the way down to that March COVID dump of another 73% drop there. So I mean, if you look at it in entirety, the bear market was pretty much from that period there to that period there on March the 20th, that's when that COVID dump. So you're talking 812 days, it was a bear market, even though we had those upswings there. I mean, 812 days is a long time, ain't it? So in a bear market, you will see a slow, maybe, year and a half of downward pressure and constant selling, and everybody think that's the end for crypto. We'll then get some signs of life, think everybody's going to the moon, and then shaft them and drop them back down before ultimate rise again. So that's a possibility of what could happen. We could die off for a year, slowly then build back up, die off and then build back up over the course of 2 or 3 years. But that's what happened last time. Might not happen next time, might it? Might be something completely different. So yeah, that's that. Where do I stake my dot? I stake my dot on the ledger. Depends, mate. If you've gone into some coins which are still fundamentally sound, I wouldn't sell at a massive loss, to be honest, mate. Maybe if it were 10-15% and you weren't happy with it, then potentially, but maybe not at a massive loss, because if the projects are still sound, then they could grow under your nose, couldn't they? Mezhohid, absolutely no idea what he's saying there, mate. Must be an Indian or something like that. Yeah, you could dip in and out of BTC then, mate. I mean, when you're looking at market cycles, just look at Bitcoin dominance chart. So if you look, that would have been the peak of the bull cycle there. That would have been in terms of altcoins, and then we had a recovery, a drop back, and then this will be when BTC pumps again all the way down to here, back range, sorry, and then alts ran. So if you just look at that there, it's posted to the front of my Twitter. So if you look there, hold alts, hold BTC, buy alts, hold alts, and if you follow that pattern throughout history, and you're wanting to accumulate Bitcoin, it's probably the best strategy to do, really. Where the death cross, has it happened yet? I'll show you where the death cross is. The death cross is not a major factor to consider, but usually every time we've had the death cross, it's pumped. So this is a moving average is 55 and the moving average is 200. So I'll put onto this chart here, look a bit easier, get rid of that noise. So this is the upper one, the 55, and this is the 200. This is what people think could happen. I should say people, I mean people who are bearish. You could get this, if BTC dropped further, this would come down. You would then get this crossover here, which would form a bearish cross, and then the price goes down. But in most cases, when this has happened, we've had an initial sell-off followed by a fuck off, and it's pumped. So I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about the bear cross. In terms of Bitcoin, I'm still quite bullish on it. I'd only be bearish if we did drop below 30k, but we've used it as support 3 times, so all is good in the hood. BTC is still holding on 38,700 on map 382 support there. Need Turkey to equalise. I take it Wales are winning now. I forgot about that game actually. Movie like a 70s porno movie. Well, I'm struggling for music, you know. I keep playing the same album every time, it's royalty-free chill up. But I've tried putting other music on and YouTube just fucking spam me for copyright, so I've tried a couple of royalty-free ones and people just bang a track in there just to piss you off, which is non-royalty free. So if you know any royalty-free tracks or playlists which are proper royalty-free, no copyright bullshit, and let me know, because I'm probably getting sick to death hearing this track, but I need some music on. Cassandra aka Michael Burry has started posting on Twitter again, and I believe it's worth a look. What's going on Twitter? Shall we have a look for any what's going on Twitter? Nothing about Fed yet. Need to know what time this dude's speaking, Powell. Not that idiot. Where have I posted it? There we go. These are timings. We need to look at when Fed's when Powell speaks, because usually you can talk an absolute load of bollocks and it does affect the price. I think that's why the price is rejecting today a little bit, to be honest, because people are wary about what he's going to say. So a little bit of fear in the market. I mean, if you're looking at Greed and Feed, Fear and Greed Index, but 38 today. 38 yesterday. We dropped to 33 today. I think that's just fact. We've got an FOMC meeting, so yeah. Let's see if we can get some orders filled down here. What are thoughts on Polygon? Solid asset. It's been making some great moves recently, hasn't it? Shall we have a look at Matic? Matic USDT. I did on the live stream this morning. I identified a couple of key levels where you could potentially get some orders filled. 151 there and 137. I think if it does come, I'm not holding much. I think I'm holding a little bit of Matic, but not much. I think if it comes down to 137, I think I'll buy some. But yeah, we have rolled over on the 4-hour time frame there, so every time you do get a bit of a rollover, if you look there, down, rollover there, drop, rollover, drop, rollover, drop, same here. We've got that rollover now, so it's going to drop down. It depends if it bounces here or if it bounces at 618 level. Really, I'm looking for a move like that to a downside and then push up and target 187. I think that could be a nice trade there. Not much growth in altcoins today, really, is it, across the board? Mostly red, especially down here with all these low caps. Yeah, some crazy prices at the minute. I think if you're looking at Matic here on the daily, it's a good it's definitely a retracement we needed. I think, look at that, pretty much on its ass for a fair few years. Bang, we've seen some nice growth on this on this part of the bull cycle. I still don't think it's finished yet. I think we're gonna definitely push up soon. Any other projects you want me to cover? I'll do another few and then I'll sack it off for the day. clue. 577 currently. Bearish cross there, so we might get a little bit of selling pressure coming. It's hard to tell, like doing TA on low caps with not much volume is pretty much hard, because sell orders or buy orders either way, depending on the side, can just massively increase the price. But I mean, if you want to do some TA, we've already lost that 618 level, so I mean, you can look down at 565. 448 is a bottom out move. I won't be worrying. I mean, if you want to buy some and you're thinking long term, I won't worry about waiting for 555 or anything under $6. I think is a decent buy order, to be honest. We've had a decent point. It's been out for years, this project. About 6-7 years old, this one. But yeah, I won't even. I mean, you can wait for 555. Possibly could happen, but up to you, mate. 10 minutes as he starts speaking. Alright. Shall we monitor BTC price while he speaks? See what goes on. Might get my order filled on here. What is a whale score? Sure, look. Still winning 1-0. Ramsey scored. Come on, Turkey. Must be to use RSI or MACD. Well, they're all lagging indicators, to be honest. I mean, I only put them on there for just a little bit of a confirmation of trends. They're not the best indicators in the world, to be honest. I think a MACD does give you a good idea of where things are going, and the RSI, I just put them both on just to see if I can get a bigger picture of it all, seeing what's going on. But we're actually developing an indicator at the minute at the Hitman, so hopefully we'll have that back tested soon, and I'll be able to show it on my live streams, and hopefully we can get a good indicator that it's pretty much a complete package rather than shite all over the place. But more news to come on that soon. GMC announcement was this week. Not sure whether it'll be happening. Yeah, more than likely to do with that Tesla carbon thing. Carbon neutrality is a massive thing these days, isn't it? I like taking profits on our side at 70-75 and then put those profits back in there. Yeah, if you can find a strategy, mate, where you find it works, just stick to that. That's why I use Fibonacci a lot, because I think I just find a lot of confluence with that 618 and that 382 level. There's a lot more fib levels you can have in, but I just prefer these two, and I think that they do happen quite often. Also, a tip: if you use the Fibonacci for trading, you can add extensions to it. So if you ever do, for example, a Fibonacci retracement from a bottom move to a top move, it never gives you levels above it, but I actually manually put them on. So if you go into settings, and I put a negative 0.618 and a negative 0.27, and I find a lot of times they come back down, test that 382 level and pop back up and hit them levels very, very well. So just bang them in. Maybe if you use Fibonacci, check them out, and I think you might be surprised how often they do it. But yeah, if you manage to take profit and trade using that RSI, then that's off to you, mate, because I don't do enough trading really. I need some more time on my hands. I think alts will go back to all-time high in their next run. Yes. I think, towards between, well, let's have a look at this for you. We've not looked at this in this stream today. I'm not sure if any of you looked at it or heard about it, but this is the Bitcoin stock to flow model, which has been quite accurate over the last few years. So looking back into 2013 here, this was the 2013 bull cycle. As you can see, when we have the dark orange dots, which eventually turn to yellow, we do get a pump, and it had 2 pumps in that 2013 bull cycle. And then 2017-18, we had 1 major pump up to the upside. Within that yellow was a peak. The yellow was a peak around there, and currently we had pretty much, I wouldn't say it was a spike, but we did see the highs. We're currently retracing, but if you look at them dots, they're starting to turn yellow a bit, and I think that like this date here is the 21st of August 2021. So around that period, we should start to see some more growth, I think, and maybe the same as 2017-18. Around December, I think, which is around here, we might see another spike. And I think this is pretty much from Q3 to Q4, anywhere from August to maybe January, February next year. I think we're going to see some really good growth across Bitcoin and altcoins. So yeah, I don't think this cycle is over. I think we've still got some more to go and some more to give. Most brokers, if you're talking about crypto exchanges, are all very, very similar pricing. Otherwise, there would be massive opportunities for arbitrage trading. Felix, it doesn't really bother me. I've been in crypto since 2017, and I've seen some major dumps. It was quite nasty, that last one. Don't get me wrong, I thought, fucking hell, there's some right money getting wiped off my portfolio here, but I know the long-term goal for me is to ride it out for this bull cycle. I don't think that this bull cycle's finished yet, so according to this and according to what I think is going to happen, I'm just going to wait for this next rise, and then eventually towards the end of this year, maybe get myself in a good position to sell a fair old whack of my crypto holdings and load up, bang them into Swissborg, earn some passive income, and then wait for the next bull cycle to appear. But remember, you can still make money in the bear markets. Things do pump. Fundamentals do matter at times, so things will randomly pop off, and learn to trade. If you want to be successful in crypto, then learn how to trade and just keep on cracking on with it. But in general, I don't get nervous about pretty much anything, to be honest, mate. I think that's 18 years I've been in military. Fucking hell, I've been on an hour. Aqua, oh man. All 7 cryptos on Robinhood will 100x. Fuck you in Robinhood. What's your number 1 favourite altcoin? Or coin, should I say? Tough that. I think Zilliqa is one of my favourite projects. Zilliqa, I mean, I can't pick one. Zilliqa, Polkadot, VeChain. Them 3 are my favourites, I think. What about this American Fed announcement? Well, we need to wait and see, don't we? I think that's why we're getting this bit of a sell-off here. I should be speaking shortly, and let's see if it affects the price. Usually, when governments or Federal Reserves talk about cryptocurrency, they never give it the best limelight, do they? What do you think? Nothing is safe in a bear market, mate. No matter how good a project is, nothing is safe in a bear market. let's just monitor its price over the next few. Well, probably not going to be on for much longer, but we'll monitor that price. See if I can get a long fill here. 37k. Doge has a purpose. Not in my crypto portfolio, it don't. Price targets for .zil and VeChain. Zilliqa, about $2, $2.50 I reckon. Could go higher. I think that supply's quite a it's got a good tokenomic plan there, so I think that could be a massive earner. Hopefully it absolutely blows my estimate out of window. VeChain 50 to 80 cent maybe, and Polkadot be about $2 to $250, but let's just see how they go. If it's in the next hour, I won't be broadcasting because I've ordered a pizza, so I'll be going and smashing that soon. Yeah, obviously it is about inflation, it's about all sorts of other shit to do with financial situations across the world, but yeah, they always mention crypto in them, so let's see how that goes. What toppings? Gone for some random one. Let me have a look. Stuffed garlic crust pepperoni. Thought I'd treat myself today. $2 for Doge, and it will hit $30 in 3 to 5 years. Aquaman, you're crazy. Doesn't Doge like mine about an extra 14 million coins per day with no supply cap? I definitely won't be investing in it. I think a lot of people have made a lot of money from it, and if you're willing to risk it on something that's based on a meme, crack on. But there's a lot better projects out there. Remember, it's just a fork of Litecoin, that's all it is. Anybody could do that. It's not got any technology behind it. It is what it is. But if you believe in it, mate, stick to your guns. Good luck to you. It's just not for me. What kind of pizza? Pepperoni. Stuffed crust. Don't know what time it's coming, to be honest. I might just randomly run away in a minute. Dicky Barbecue Genius, pretty much spot on there. Well, to be honest, he had nothing to do with it prior 6 months ago, did he? Nothing at all, and I think he's just jumped on that bandwagon. Probably didn't even know what it was at first and just thought, oh, it'd be funny to shill some shit about it. Very similar to what I did with that cum rocket. Why would he put that on your Twitter page? He's not right in it, is he? Let him crack on. What about Sheeb? It's just another meme. It's just another meme asset that somebody wanted to make some. I actually like what they give 50% of the supply to VTelec, thinking he won't drop it, and then he randomly sold $1 billion worth and give it to that India COVID relief fund, which was quite funny. There's no need to have projects with such significant supplies like that, is it? I mean, let's have a look how much the supply is on that fucking dog. That's fucking a joke, innit? Look at that supply. What can you do with a supply that big? And it probably says, oh, it's a deflationary asset, when we don't want deflation, we don't want inflation, we just want steady assets. We don't want things that just massively fucking die off, and yeah, it's just built just to fucking wreck people, isn't it? XRP. What's anything going on with it? Not much going on there, mate. XRP was my first ever buy. So like Felix brother. Yeah, XRP was my first ever buy back in 2017. Absolute pain in the ass to get. Back when I had to use carrier pigeons to get crypto. Right, I think I'm gonna wrap it up today, guys. Anyway, which stablecoin do you use? Either USDC or USDT. I'm staking USDC. Well, not staking, but I've locked it up for yield. So it's up to you, really, mate. USDC is more regulated. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today. 2 streams in a day. I'll be doing another stream in the morning, so if you're around, jump on tomorrow's stream, probably about 9 o'clock GMT time, wherever you're in the world. If you're new here, smash that like button, make sure you are subscribed, and catch you later.